Moving into the into the next block. So let me remind you the rules for the newcomers that are coming. We're going to be talking about the enterprise companies. These are technology-intensive services that kind of try to tackle the whole value chain of corporations and big companies seeking to digitalize and automate processes. So essentially making things more efficient, bigger, faster, better. Now, rules as always, 3-minute pitch. Startups, Alex will be very mean and very evil and push you. I have to be the bad guy, okay? So let's keep it to the timer, 3 minutes. We have 2 minutes for the judges' questions. And you'll be judged in innovation, scalability, team viability, and investability. Good? Startups, are we ready? Yeah? Well, to join the party, we have our also immense jury today. So please, let me introduce you the judges, and meanwhile you keep, making some noise. It's going to take a while because it's a lot of you, but let's see if we can make it through, okay? Are we ready? Okay, so please give me an applause for our judges. Pedro Carreira, 33N Ventures. Big applause for Pedro. Susana Chiu, Amadeus IT Group. Alejandra Otero, Burda Principal Investments. Come on, you can keep on doing noise. Tomás Penaguao, Bind Venture Capital, Jaime Deleito, Caixa Capital Risk, DL Davenport, Claret Capital Partners. Come on! Mr. Jorge Dobon from Demium. Where is Jorge? I haven't seen Jorge. Where is Jorge? He's not here. Luis Meyer Schrenher from HV Capital. Come on! Annick Jansen from IE University. Andrea Badia Serra from Lakestar Capital. Come on, we can make it. We're nearly there. Paul Boyce Lepin from Molten Ventures. There we go. Francesco Zambelli from P101 Ventures. Luis Llorens from Plug and Play. Javier Valverde from Prosus. Luis Garay from Semaipata. Dilek, this one is a hard one. Dilek Dain-Larley from ScaleX Ventures. Come on, I want to hear the noise. Beth Walsh from Seaya Ventures, Daniel Naciento from Semapa Next, and last but not least, Fernando Asin from Telefonica. Judges, thank you very much for joining. And without further ado, let's introduce our first startup. So we're going to be talking about sustainability, and there's a lot of things. As you know, South Summit is all about sustainability this few years, but it's becoming increasingly hard. You know, when someone says like, "Oh, we're going to reduce CO2 emissions in our value chain," and you go like, keep talking. How are you going to do that? How are you going to map it? How are you going to map layer 1, layer 2, layer 3? It's really complex, especially for very large companies, to actually be able to track how you do that. And so precisely to help companies to build resilient supply chains, to ensure transparency, and to bring it to the end consumer, I want to welcome our next 2 speakers for our next startup. Big applause for Alba Garcia Bertoz and Ana Cañadel, co-founders and co-CEOs of Beacon. Big applause.
More than 10 years ago, I was working for a big fashion brand called Inditex. I remember traveling to Tianjin and seeing that picture. I looking through the window at my fancy hotel room and only seeing a cloud of pollution. At that time, I realized the massive impact fashion industry was doing to the people and to the world, and I promised myself to transform that negative impact into a positive one. 10 years later, and we're still talking about the same shit. Lack of transparency, supply chain crisis, devastation, need of legislation, and greenwashing threat. We all know that sustainability presents the biggest opportunity for fashion industry because market value is huge and because the compliance and regulations are around the corner. In that context, Become was born, the sustainability platform transforming the fashion industry.
An elegant solution for the fashion to build responsible supply chain, guarantee transparency, and bringing to the final customers. All in one solution, all in one platform, providing 3 main areas: impact assessment, sustainability insights, and data sharing, and making sure that all of them is based in European regulations. Our expertise in fashion Just triple mentioned about sustainability, the 5,000 data sets that we're using and the scalable technology is what makes us different. And we wanted to share with you the real heroes, more than 50 brands that they are using our SaaS platform. Maybe you know some of them. And based on that, we wanted to share with you as well all the power behind all of those impacts. I mean, how we can help all of those brands to make sure that they can trace the full supply chain, that they can really prove that they are having a positive impact in all of those collections, and also that we can help them to increase the conversion rate. Because at the end, it's not about sell more, but mainly to sell better.
We are two co-founders. We are women in business, in sustainability, and in technology. Anna has big experience in startups and emerging projects. She's a master in thinking big. And I have more than 15 years experience in sustainability and fashion. And believe me when I said there is no future in fashion without sustainability. Honestly, we are proud of what we achieved, but we are eager for much more. We expect it to grow X3 during the next year, to achieve more than 5% of market share despite of fierce competence, to develop the 100% of our product in compliance with European Union, and to create the network effect by sharing more than 1 million impact data. Our goal is to become the reference for sustainability, consolidate our presence in Europe, and become the major player for fashion and sustainability. And now it's your turn to scan the QR code that you have on the screen and to discover how we make fashion impacts easy to understand, verified, and credible.
And we need you. We are in fundraising. We are looking for 2 million. We have the 20% already commitment. So if you have interest, you can send us an email or have a chat later. And if you didn't scan the QR code on the last slide, you can scan now and understand the product behind Become. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alba. Thank you, Anna. Ready? Judges, questions, please. Okay.
Thank you so much. Can you tell us a bit more about your go-to-market and who's the first person that you normally target when reaching out to brands?
Well, yeah, it's a good question. Right now, we are looking for these medium brands that they can inspire the rest of the brands, not going directly to the fast fashion brands. I mean, never say no to any one of them, of course. But we are looking for this European market that are very commitment in terms of sustainability. And and in terms of the buyer person, it depends. Sometimes it's the marketing team that they are very eager to share the impacts behind their product, and sometimes it's the supply department that they want to understand where they could improve for the full supply chain.
Okay, well, we're tight on time, so with this, big applause to the girls. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.
Big applause, come on. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Alba. We're flying all the way to Italy now to dabble with an issue that is funny. You know, we keep deploying technology and it keeps becoming a problem. And one of those is dealing with business and corporate travel. It's like just booking and coordinating everyone, making sure you have that under control, that you're monitoring what's happening. It's still very painful. So please welcome our next startup to talk about that, Giovanni Bernardi, Head of Sales for BizAway.
Buenas tardes. BizAway is a B2B scale-up that was born to simplify business travel and make it easier for companies to book, manage, and control trips in one place. If you think about it, booking business trips for employees all over the world is still a nightmare because many people are still following a very manual process, especially when they're doing it via a traditional travel agency. And this is particularly the case for medium and large corporations. In many cases, there is a statistics that says that on average, between 7 and 8 emails are sent to book every single business trip. Now multiply it for 1,000 employees or 10,000, and you get a massive effect of inefficiency. The second solution that normally companies are using is online booking tools. Expedia, Booking.com, Skyscanner, and these kind of platforms. These platforms are great. We use it every day for our holidays. The problem is that they are B2C oriented, and it means that you have to use many of them. The problem also with this is that they don't provide the centralization that the CFO needs to understand a bit more about how much you're spending. BizAway is solving exactly this. So we're giving companies a single solution to manage everything in one place, keeping the centralization of the travel agency and the good prices and the UX of the online platforms. How many of you came traveling today? Okay, quite a good number. So it means that business travel is not dead. Of course, there was a contraction during COVID, but we're still talking about a $1 trillion opportunity. And as you can see, we're getting already closer to pre-pandemic level in terms of business travel. And at Bizaway, we've been taking on this opportunity. We already have more than 1,500 corporate clients all over the world. We raised more than 30 million euros to date, and we've been, this year, for the fourth year in a row, as one of the fastest growing companies in Europe in the travel space. Our journey was started in 2015. I was just focused on the latest milestones. Last year, we received the B Corp certification, which is one of the highest standards in terms of sustainability. And this year, we're launching operations in the Middle East, in the region, and we completed our very first acquisition. All this while growing at a 150% average growth rate, even considering COVID. But this is just the beginning, because our project is to actually achieve 1.5 billion euros in exit ARR in the next 2 years, and to make a profit between 2023 and 2024. And this especially thanks to the customers that are trusting us. So companies like multinational companies like Menarini, Serie A, BDO, and many others that every day are booking the trips for their employees. Thank you very much. I'm ready for your questions.
Right on time. Okay, questions for Giovanni, please. Hi. Yeah, it will go.
Hi, yes, it's on now. Hi. Great presentations, great traction. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Susanna Chiu from Amadeus Ventures.
I think we met last year as well.
That's what I think. Welcome back.
Why you keep sending competitors as judges? It's not fair.
Next year you can be there, man. Yes, win the competition.
I don't remember the question I asked last year, so I'll just ask the
it.
question for this year. Business travel has been around for ever.
Yeah.
Right. So I've been investing in travel startups for the last 10 years, and I've been seeing them all over. What is the innovation that you're bringing to business travel?
Good one. I would say, well, there's many of them, but I can focus on a couple of things. The most important thing is that we are bringing finally a good UX to users that are actually happy to use a corporate tool, which in many other cases, that was not the case. This is the first one. And I would say it's directly related to the second one. We have one of the biggest inventories in terms of business travel, so that employees do not have to find solutions elsewhere and do not complain about the prices, because that's the main problem. In many cases,
Giovanni,
people are
short.
complaining about the prices that they find. In our case, they don't. Sorry.
Okay, good. You buy? We'll see. Big applause for Giovanni.
Thank you so
very
much.
much. Grazie, Giovanni. Let me ask you a question. How many times you thought, this would be great with a video? And then you go like, but then you have to do the video. And then you go like, I don't know how to do a video. And you go like, yeah, I have a phone, but if I want to do some effects and this and that, then it starts becoming tricky, right? What if I told you that our next company allows you to put a text prompt and create the video that you need? Would you use it? Yes? Maybe? Well, let's hear all about it. So please welcome our next startup, Álvaro Sáez, CEO of Hechicería.
Thank you very much, Alex. Hello, everyone. My name is Álvaro Sáez. I'm CEO of Hechicería, the startup that is making a revolution in audiovisual, video games, and virtual reality sectors. Could we estimate how many hours could we be spending watching movies and series per day? How many hours an audiovisual company is spending creating these works? The truth is that the increasing demand is getting more and more complicated to carry out quality productions while keeping costs at bay. This is the reason why 3 years ago, my team and I thought about the first idea of a video generator by artificial intelligence, by text, to accelerate these processes of these audiovisual companies through text. We wanted to take advantage of the push of the digital platforms, because this is a huge market of $130 billion worldwide between audiovisual companies, marketing companies, and digital content creators. So what about the competition? because Google, Meta, and Runway were releasing their approaches months ago, and these are the results. For a sentence like the man goes to the stairs, this is the result. 2 seconds of video and 90 seconds of generation, and this is our approach. As we can see, we put the sentence into the interface. We are going to see how the natural language processing algorithm is understanding the content of the text and rendering in 3D in a few seconds with total coherence with the text and so better quality. And with all the flexibility that you will have if you are using traditional ways of doing content, because this is 3D content, and you can change colors, shapes, movements, shots, whatever. So besides that, we're using our own NLP algorithms, not GPT, and also we have validated by the customer interface. We're going to sell it with a software as a service business model with different feeds depending on the footage per month. And this is our go-to-market strategy, collaborating with influencers for the most effective strategy to arrive to the big public, so a great traffic for these influencers. Also attending events, great events of technology and audiovisual. Why us? Because we are young, yes, we are freaks, we are talented, but also our great partners like RTVE Spain and Babson College and AWS Love Accelerator. The last month we raised our first revenue, and for the next 3 months we're achieving our breakout. So thank you very much. This is Hechicera.
All of you doing digital twins, this is someone you want to talk to. Judges, questions? There we go.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. Pedro from 33N Ventures. I'm curious to understand a lot of companies also allowing to create in an easy way avatars, and I'm curious if this is something you'd be able to integrate in your platform.
Do you mean avatars based on your own face? Okay, yeah. We are implementing a functionality in which you can record yourself between different angles. And with a rendering system, you in a few minutes are able to use your own face in the interface for every kind of sentence. In fact, we have in our social media several videos with my face, and you can check that I'm doing some things with this technology here.
Okay, big applause for Alvaro. Thank you very much. And now we're moving on to the restaurant space. You all know, all like going to restaurants, right? Yes? We're in Spain, come on, food is important. We all like going to restaurants, right? Yes, okay. Who here has ever owned or run a restaurant? Raise your hand. See if we have anyone. Some people there. Oh, some people, 2 people. That's interesting. Well, for the rest of you, let me tell you, running a restaurant is really, really hard. And with the coming of the pandemic and the increase or accelerated digitalization of many, many spaces, restaurants are one of those spaces that has been accelerating really fast. Now, there's a combination of tools that they use, but there are many of them. Well, our next startup precisely is going to provide us, and I'm jumping, yeah, nearly. They're tricking me, sorry about that. No, we're sticking with digital twins. I love everyone is looking there as I was going on. Okay, sorry, that was the next startup. Prior to that, we're going to keep going with digital twins, and we were talking about, there are many reasons why digital twins matter. Those that are in the industry understand it for maintenance reasons, for natural disaster reasons. But there's one that it's actually pretty straightforward, which is how many times you've gone to a hotel and you've seen the pictures of the hotel, and then you arrive there and you go like, this is really shitty. Right? Raise your hand. We've been there, right? What if I told you that we can fix that? that through your browser, you can actually see a 3D identical twin representation of the hotel you're actually going to enjoy. And you can roam through every room, because of course, they only take the pictures of the nice rooms, right? You get the shitty room, and that's what you need to fix. So to fix that, please welcome our next startup, Alex Barros, Chief of Growth and Innovation at Hotelverse.
Well, thank you. I think after that introduction, I think it's on my job, I can just leave. But anyway, since I'm here. So we basically exist to really end up with the blind dates between guests and hotels. And we've had a fantastic year one. We're only 14 months old. And what we do is we're really trying to help hotels to innovate and change what's been a very boring and process that hasn't really changed much. It's not specific, it's not emotional, and it's definitely not authentic. As Alex was mentioning, what you buy is usually not what you get. So what we're doing is we create a little bit of a jump for hotels, trying to bring from retail immersive experiences like, you know, trying shoes on, trying clothes, or selecting a seat at a stadium, or at a concert. And of course, I guess most of you have selected your seat on an airplane. And what we do is we want to help hotels to really tackle that, because there are massive consequences for that for the traveler. So for the traveler, it's a very frustrating experience, definitely powerless. You can't really choose anything. You book a room and you get there, get lucky. And what became normal for the hotels is that basically the hotel is only another stop for you on the booking journey. And the consequences for the hotels are quite dire. So 40% leakage in profitability happens because basically 3 out of 4 guests that come to your web page is going to go back to the OTAs and make a booking. So therefore, the opportunity to be captured is huge. And we say that's the end of normal. So what we've done is we've created within Iberostar a new value proposition that helps you to really understand what you're actually buying into. So what we're doing, and I'm going to play a little video to show you what we do. So we effectively build this digital twin, we put it inside your web page as a hotel, and what we do with that as a result, we increment 30 to 60% on the conversion rates. Why is that? Because you don't have to figure out what's going to happen when you get there. So you can show sustainability efforts, you can show all of the outlets that the property has, and you can really understand what you're actually purchasing. And that ends up helping you to increase selling higher room categories that you understand now what the basic room is versus the other ones. So we have heat maps showing you what are the favorite places guests like to look at. We work with city hotels, also with resorts. And it's a very simple, easy technology to implement. It takes a little bit of time to create it, but basically we have a SaaS business-based model. So the metrics speak a lot, and like I said, 30 to 60% increase in conversion rates. And we've got an amazing team and a lot of customers that are world-known brands working with us, and happy to answer any questions.
You're just going to kill the horrible hotels. They're going to disappear thanks to you.
Not really. I mean, basically, we believe that what's going to happen with every single hotel in the near future is going to be that you end up with the first adopters will be the 4- and 5-star properties, but then you're going to go to the 3 and 2 stars down the line.
You have a lot of faith in human race.
Yeah.
Judges, questions.
Hi, Aniek Janssens from IE University. I have a question regarding the clients that you already have. What's the test case on improvement of bookings or feedback? Do you have any data on that?
Yeah, so we have 30 to 60% increase in the conversion rate, and 92% of the customers that use our platform prefer to book it when they can choose the room.
Good.
Anybody else?
Okay, big applause for Alex. Thank you. And now, if I do it right, now we're talking about restaurants. And as I was saying yesterday, you know, it's really hard to deal with a restaurant, and it's even harder to deal with it when you have multiple applications. Digitalization sometimes means for a lot of the owners having 3, 4, 5 different applications together. Now, Our next speaker is precisely going to show us that you only need one. As they very well say, this is the last app a restaurant needs. So please welcome Erik Nikolic, CEO of Last App.
McDonald's, great restaurant, maybe not for a first date, but something that I always admire of them is how they use technology in order to succeed. Then again, they have a big team of developers, and most restaurants don't. So how can I, as a small restaurant, solve this? 15 years ago, when you started a business, you actually needed to hire someone to set up things like email, calls, and servers. Now, you use tools like these ones. However, restaurants don't, because they don't have one. Since you do a booking in a restaurant until you actually pay the bill, restaurants have to manage more than 10 different tools and 5 different ordering channels. That's quite a lot. And on top of that, care about you, the customer. So how to solve this? You actually have to unify all of these different tools into one single Last App to manage it all from end to end. My name is Erik. I'm the CEO of Last App. And what we do is an operating system that allows restaurants to cover all the essential needs with their own products, including POS, reporting, shop, delivery, etc., etc. Now, all of this works in pretty much any platform and any device. Now, you might be wondering, how can we compete with all the other apps and softwares that are already in the market? We actually don't. We integrate with them. We work with them, and we allow all of these apps to modify the way we work, to create the perfect tech solution for each restaurant. We launched 2 years ago, and since then, we already have more than 1,000 restaurants, which is few compared to the more than 1 million restaurants that are experiencing this same issue all around Europe. Now, last year, we doubled our growth. We reached over 1 million in ARR, and most of it was completely inbound. But this is just the beginning. This year, we want to do new things like opening new markets, launch new products like payments, and create more tools for developers. Now, how do we help restaurants? Well, we actually help them reducing by 45% the time they spend processing orders, reducing 90% the errors that they have, and actually improving their revenue by up to 1/3 in their own channels. So it's actually working. We're actually impacting them. So the operating system that we're building simplifies the way they adopt technology. They can enable things like kiosk, loyalty, or delivery with just a matter of clicks. They don't have to do long integrations or have a tech team. We're building a simplified and unified solution. We're building the Last App a restaurant needs.
Okay, ready for the questions?
Ready for the questions.
Judges, questions, please. There we go. There.
What size of restaurants are you targeting?
We do have any kind of restaurant, so from big chains, 100 locations chains to small one, but we're targeting the smaller one from 1 to 5 locations because those are the ones that have this issue like the most because they don't have the resources to have like their own systems or their own developers.
And sorry, follow up.
No, yeah, for sure.
Have you identified any churn from maybe small restaurants that they just sort of don't make it through the journey you've been?
For sure. In both, to be honest, in both like big customers and small customers, we do have churn because chains as well aggressively grow basically and then reduce the numbers of restaurants, but it's not as big as you may think. And we're actually like, usually we detect like what kind of restaurant is more able or less able to churn, and by the characteristic of our products, they usually don't.
Okay, big applause for Erik, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm flying now to the UK to deal with a very, very interesting company. As we keep adding sensors to everything, it's becoming harder. The same way we were talking about the apps for restaurants, but it's becoming harder to get all the information that we need and make informed decisions, take decisions about what's going on. This is especially true, for example, in the real estate space, where we are digitalizing the buildings and we have all these sensors happening from different vendors, from different parts of the building. So how do we pull all that stuff together to then make smarter decisions about, well, maybe we can switch the lights here and it will be better, or maybe this is a more efficient way of purifying the air, things like that. Well, to provide intelligence to all this sensoring that we have all around, please welcome our next startup. Big applause for Susana Quinta, Senior Advisor at Metricus.
Well, hi. Today I want to talk about the biggest change in work in the last 100 years and the revolution in the workplace. But first, let's see some numbers, shall we? Offices account for $5 trillion in asset value at stake. But it's not all about numbers. If we want to decarbonize the planet, we need to take into account buildings because they consume 40% of the energy and are responsible for 33% of the emissions. And in 2050, when net zero deadline is due, 83% of the buildings that will exist then exist today. We need solutions that can action on today's existing buildings. So, everybody has offices, whether it's owned or rented, big or small, new or old. So the opportunity here is huge. And Metricus, how can we help? Our purpose is the future of workplace. We want to help to generate healthy, green, efficient, and tech-driven spaces through the using of our platform, a single platform to connect all data from all sources to provide you with actionable insights to produce productive, sustainable, and efficient workplaces. And what makes our platform different? Well, we are a single pane of glass. It's a 3-in-1 solution for efficiency, sustainability, and the management of the buildings. Plus, we are hardware agnostic and connectable by API. And above all, we are future-proof. I can think of 9 reasons to use Metricus. One of them is to save time, to save money, to boost the value of your assets, to boost the employee experience, and, of course, to drive your initiatives in sustainability. You choose your pick. And this is more than a dream, it's a reality. A proof of that is the award we won with Accenture's headquarters in Madrid that right now have escalated globally. And we really believe in profitable sustainability and that the future of the buildings is data-driven. Let's see some of the, then also, Metricus can also be applied to all real estate assets, not only offices. And here the size is $34 trillion. This is twice the size of the Chinese economy. So let me walk you through some of the solutions.
Data points. And there is so much information out there just waiting to be harnessed in the right way. What if there was one platform to unlock the power of all this data? Meet Metricus. We make buildings better with data. Our building efficiency software can connect with any sensor or system to provide revolutionary insights, making your spaces smarter, healthier, and more sustainable. It's time to say goodbye to scattered data and connect anything, anywhere. We mean it. The Metricus platform transforms your real estate data into a powerful decision-making tool with bespoke graphs, analytics, alerts, and reports. Occupancy, indoor air quality, energy consumption, and more, all in one place. Improve efficiency and promote sustainability.
Yep.
Power productivity, well-being,
Big applause, please. You see, I'm the evil Grinch here. Okay, questions for Susana, please. Over there.
Thank you for the pitch. Just a quick question. I think the first step of visualization already has a great learning effect for a lot of building managers. Do you actually also go the next step to create impact, to really have suggested measures to take to improve energy efficiency and to really create those impacts that you're targeting?
Yeah, totally. I mean, right now, everything has alerts. So, for example, let's say that CO2 goes over 1,000 parts per. What we do is send an alert, and if you're connected to BMS, because we can also connect to BMS, then you induce action already. And in version 4, which is coming out next year, we also have predictive analytics, which right now you can do it, but outside the platform, to provide those actionable insights too.
Okay. Big applause for Susana, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now flying to Switzerland, and we're going to be talking about, I mentioned it before, everyone said that more or less everyone is used to ChatGPT. Now, however, ChatGPT is trained with the information it's trained. what if we could have a ChatGPT-like experience, but instead of with external information, with our own knowledge, with our own information? Kind of like a second brain there. I would say kind of like what our phones are becoming, or used to be before we have phones. Just let me ask you a question. When was the last time you memorized a phone number? Anyone? Long time ago, right? Well, we're getting that way with the ChatGPT-like system, so please welcome our next startup. Big applause for Christopher Payne, founder and CEO of MyReach.
So I'm going to talk to you today about the future of search. For the last 5 years, we've been working on making you and your company smarter. How? By leveraging the power of AI to give you instant access to your information. Now, just imagine for a second being able to find a specific clause in an old contract without even having to look for it. Or imagine being able to onboard an employee without having to explain to him anything about the company. Or imagine a due diligence. How many hours do you spend scouring through thousands of documents? So now just imagine having a ChatGPT, private, trained only on your information, on your company's data. Well, that's what we do at MyReach. We've created a centralized brain that essentially acts as a second brain that enables you then to access all of your information. According to McKinsey, the average employee spends 24% of their time searching for information. To put that into perspective, that is more than a full day a week. At MyReach, our mission is to reduce that down to 1%. How? By leveraging the power of AI to replace the archaic system of folders by an intuitive network that mimics the way our memory works, so that you can search the way you think. Everyone here knows about ChatGPT. Everyone here has even used it. I'm willing to wager that none of you have been able to do it with all of your company's data. All of your emails, documents, contracts, images, videos. But in MyReach, you can save everything, and you can ask anything. A powerful AI is able to extract all of the key relevant information from your saved items, so you can search for it instantly later. That is the future of search. Now, when ChatGPT launched, everyone looked at how to incorporate AI into their product. The bigger players, they all focused on content generation, and the smaller ones that are touching natural search, well, unlike us, they've only been focused on document management. Apologies. They've only been focused on document management. In our platform, not only are you able to save all information, but more importantly, unlike all the other players, we don't use models from OpenAI or Anthropic. We can offer you a 100% private solution tailored to your specific needs, where your data is safe and secure. We launched a beta last year in 2022, and have since purely organically reached over 6,000 users from around the world. In the next few months, we're going to be releasing our plan for both individuals and businesses. We've got a small team based out of Switzerland and Barcelona of developers and hackers, some of which have PhDs and postdocs. We're MyReach, the future of search.
Go. Thank you, Chris. Okay. So questions, judges. There we go. We have one there.
My question is, how do you train those models with the limited amount of data that you're expecting to put in, given it's private?
So the beauty is, large language models don't actually have to be trained with your data. What we're able to do is, when you upload a piece of information, we use something called a sentence transformer. That essentially breaks down your document to pieces of text, so that whenever you do a question, we then are able then to compare the sentence embedding between your question and all of your different pieces of text, then feed it through a large language model that we self-host to then generate the answer that asks you a specific question. So, to make it short, you don't have to create a large language model for your company.
There you go. You buy? We're short on time. So please give a big applause to Christopher. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining. Now we're flying to Germany, and once more, it's kind of interesting. Let me ask you a question. How many times you've had your credit card expiring, and then trying to figure out in how many services you had your credit card in to change it. Raise your hand if that has happened to you. Really? Few people? You don't use online services with your credit card? Well, that happens to me a lot, and every time they change the number or they change the code, it's like really painful to manage all the subscriptions that I have, all the SaaS services I have. I don't even remember all of them. Now imagine this is just one person. Imagine being a corporation. Imagine how many services are being used across the whole spectrum of the organization, and who deals with them. Well, precisely to fix that issue, we have our next company from Germany. Please welcome David Alonso, Country Manager of Sastrify.
Hi everyone, my name is David Alonso, and today I'm excited to show you how we have made buying software as easy as buying in Amazon. What makes most valuable companies so successful? Some of you might think it's the marketing or the sales or even the product, but in the end, everything is based in two things. It's the people you hire and the software you buy. In 2011, famous investor Marcus Andreessen said, software as a service is eating the world. And I think that 12 years later, we can all agree he was right. But how does this look in the real world? On average, companies have more than 50 different software solutions that usually represent the second expense after the salaries. According to Gartner, there's a 2x growth expected for 2024, 4x in LATAM and Spain. But where are the main difficulties? First one, the complexity. I think most of you can relate with this situation where you want to buy a software solution, a marketing, ERP, CRM, and then you ask your colleague, you go to internet, and then you find thousands of different solutions to cover that need. This usually requires a lot of time and money to find the right tool to cover your need, and of course the price. Nowadays, if you want to buy a flight from Madrid to New York, you go to Skyscanner and you benchmark prices. If you want to go to a hotel, you go to Booking.com or you go to Airbnb. But if you want to buy Salesforce, AWS, HubSpot, any other software solution, there's no way to know if the price that you are being quoted is the right one or not. So how does Sastrify solve this? We have developed what we call agile software procurement. We basically gather all the needs from all the stakeholders, CTO, CFO, legal, IT. We help you finding the right tool at the right price, and we centralize all this information in one single tool. We don't stop there. We also support you with the renewals. Sorry. Today, we have more than 200 different clients. We have offices in Germany and New York. And we save so much money to our clients that we are able to guarantee ROI positive in 100% of the scenarios. That means that in the contract is stated that we always save you more than what we cost. Today we are giving free evaluation to the software stack of everyone in this room. So feel free to pass by our booth, number 17, and meet the team. Thank you.
Does it work for individuals too? I need a fix. Questions, please.
Hello. Thank you very much for your pitch. That was great. When looking at some of your competitors like Vendor, Vertis, or Tropic, for instance, I understand that most of you compete based on cost savings. When looking at similar clients, what makes you win over them?
Well, that's a very good question. First of all, we are the biggest player in Europe and in Latin America. That's not only a marketing thing. That also means that we have more clients, therefore we have more contracts, we have more info, we have much more benchmarks and more data to find better pricing. So just with that, I think it's enough to position it. We also don't like to compete only in price. We're trying to develop a platform where, in the end, most of the clients come with us for the money saving, because this is a very, let's say, easy slogan. But in the end, the main reason why they remain with us is for the time we save when it comes to buy a new tool.
Okay, big applause for David. Thank you very much. I really want that for myself. Okay, and speaking again once more about sustainability, there's been an increasing focus of looking at and tracing the transparency of different supply chains. And if there's one supply chain that has plenty of waste, is the food industry. Now, precisely to talk about and how to build a tool that allows you to connect the B2B food supply chain, connecting chefs all the way to the farms directly, we have from Italy, please welcome, sorry, Mauro Germani, CEO of Supplya.
Hi everyone. The B2B food supply chain is broken. Today, as a chef or a restaurant owner, you need to choose between two flawed options when purchasing. You can buy from mass distribution and therefore get an antiquated service, an opaque pricing, and average products, or you can choose to spend a huge amount of time and money to build and run a complex supply chain made of single farm deliveries, which most of the time are late or wrong. And more recently, the food industry and the food service industry has changed forever. And that's because prices of food and energy has grown up a lot. Labor cost is growing as well. And we are missing hundreds of thousands of laborers in this industry, so there's no more time to run operations. And also, food delivery and new consumer habits have made it impossible to plan orders and inventory. And this is what is making chefs move to action. And that's why we built Supplya, a new automated supply chain that allows us to connect directly thousands of different chefs and farmers and provide hassle-free logistics to farms and better and more precise deliveries to chefs, while providing to both with better margins and a huge time saving. All of this has allowed us to grow by 24% month over month in the last couple of years and reach 9.5 million annualized GMV as of last month, all of that while doubling margins. And our managed marketplace model and our network effects allows us to provide fast and efficient liquidity, both for chefs and farms. All of this is possible because we have built a full stack technology all across the supply chain that is changing the operations model of food service. We are allowing chefs and farms to get better margins, food waste and emission huge reduction, and we are improving operation efficiency by 21%. With our last seed round, we've been able to build a strong leadership team made of rock stars coming from the best companies in operations, food, and technology. And this is the foundation of the next years of growth at Supplya. Partner with some of the best Southern Europe VCs and more to be announced soon, we are excited to scale our business all across Europe. We are here to challenge an industry that was stagnant for the last 30 years. It will take quite some time, but we are proud to be part of the mission of building a more transparent, efficient, and sustainable food system. And we are happy to make you join this journey. My name is Mauro, we are Supplya. Enjoy South Summit.
Grazie, Mauro. Do we have any questions, judges? Questions for Mauro? Here at the center.
Thank you for your presentation. I guess, you know, the restaurant industry is notoriously very fragmented and can be quite fickle sometimes. I guess, how do you scale the business to, you know, a much larger company with such a fragmented market?
Yeah, that's basically part of what we are actually doing. So we are merging together into a full stack integrated platform a lot of different operators, which right now don't have the power nor to build, to use the technology, to run the logistics, the operations, etc. So there are very few big players that are covering 20% of the market, and we are actually aggregating the rest of it into one single tool that allows the farm directly to sell and don't think of anything regarding logistic, payment, inventory, delivery, nothing. And the same for the restaurant. We allowed him to buy and to manage procurement all the way in one single click.
Okay, thank you. Big applause to Mauro. Thank you very much, Mauro. So, last one of the block. How are we feeling? Ooh, I can feel the lack of coffee here. Come on, we can do this. Last one, can we do this? Yes, we're gonna push until the end. Come on. So, last but not least, this is the irony of this whole digitalization aspect is before any business would be run with a spreadsheet and pen and paper. And then, oh, lo and behold, here come the digitalization of businesses. And then you have, instead of one spreadsheet, you have 15 spreadsheets. And instead of 15 spreadsheets, you have 15 different applications that you need to join somehow. And a lot of these businesses, especially SMEs, go like, what's going on? How do we do this? Well, we have a solution. What if we had one single place that you don't need to learn how to code to connect all the things you need to run your SMB business? So please welcome our last startup, Gonzalo Roman, CEO and founder of Zinky.
Hi there, I'm Gonzalo, and after more than 10 years in digital transformation consultancy for SMBs, we realized that SMBs are caught in the web of rigid ERPs, Excels, mails, and shared folders. A few years ago, with the rise of SaaS, we hoped for an agile digitization. But new problems are emerging. To have a different app for everything is the high barrier to onboarding new software. It makes data silos, it makes work complex, and it costs a lot. In Zinky, we don't think that the future of work in SMBs will be to manage more than 20 tabs in your browser to run your business. So we created Zinky, a platform where you can create business applications without coding, and thus unify data, processes, documents, and communications in one single place. As simple as create a website in WordPress. Okay, we've learned that SMBs don't get no code at first. They want to hear about specific problems, specific use case that we can solve with our platform. When we are infiltrated on a SMB with a specific use case, to expand our no-code platform is easy for us because MacGyvers, tech-savvy users, start to build new processes involving more people and more stakeholders. Now, some data. Surpassing 500,000 in ARR the last month and growing 10% month over month, we obtain a 99% net retention rate. Oh, we are a very strong team with expertise in SMBs, startups, and technology, including 2 co-founders of Landbot, one of the biggest no-code B2B SaaS in Spain. We are launching our funding round, looking for 1.5 million. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I want to invite David to join us here on stage to take any questions. So, final round of questions for startups.
Horizontal solution. I was wondering, how are you currently doing the go-to-market for specific industries?
Yeah, you talk.
Okay. What we try is to select, as Gonzalo was saying, specific use cases. Specific use cases, you can mean something like verticals, okay? Business verticals. We understand them very well, and then we prepare our solution specifically for them. they now understand pretty well what is the value that they can extract from our solution, because they can map their business in thinking. And then, as we was mentioning, once we are there, we can extend to other parts of the company. We are in a process to tackle several verticals, several use cases, specifically industry by industry.
Okay, there we go. Well, Gonzalo, David, big applause. Thank you very much.